is Alexandra Post, and this is my visual model for a trauma sensitive and resilience enhancing school. The purpose of this assignment is to show the visual model that I designed and explain how the model shows my plan for action to help students feel safe, connected, to self-regulate their behavior, and also to achieve academic success. Jen Alexander states that only when students are feeling safe, connected, and regulated are they ready to learn. And so my model integrates all of these essentials that need to happen before students can even learn academic content. So my model shows the 4 essentials of a trauma-sensitive school. So students must first of all feel safe, and they feel safe at school. They need to feel safe at home and in their community. They also need to have a sense of felt or emotional safety. This leads to feeling connected to school culture, and they need to feel connected to educators. They need to feel connected to school staff, as well as to the school community and the community around the school. When students feel safe and connected, then they need to be supported in self-regulating their behavior. And that means that teachers need to teach for regulation. They need to coach students in how to be regulated. Support staff need to have an understanding of how self-regulation impacts behavior rather than having a zero tolerance policy regarding behaviors. They need to understand the why behind the behavior, and oftentimes that's self-regulation. When these 3 prerequisites are met, then students can achieve academic success, and that leads to having better executive functioning in order to learn the content. So our first priority is always student safety. So my plan includes having very explicit and clear school and classroom expectations that are consistent across the school building so that a student can have a sense of safety no matter where they are in the school, no matter what part of the day. School must be a safe, consistent, and stable place, especially for students who've experienced trauma. And it really is educators and administration that set the tone for that. And so having everyone on the same page is essential. Students also need to feel safe outside of the school day. Students are at school for 7 to 8 hours a day, and so the remaining 16 hours of the day, students need to feel safe as well. So schools need to provide resources for students to have their basic needs met through family advocates and connecting with community resources. Neighborhood safety also needs to be something that is discussed and have an awareness of, and also partnering with the resources in the community to help students feel safe in their homes, or to get them the resources that families might need so that they can have safe, stable homes. Schools should be a part of the community to build those bridges of support. It cannot just be in isolation. Students also need to feel safe emotionally, as well as socially, so a sense of felt safety. And part of this stems from educators needing to be regulated so that students can be regulated. Educators set the tone, and so all staff need to be aware of microaggressions and how that might look within the school day. So understanding how socially and emotionally students need to feel supported and safe educators are not mental health professionals. We are not designed to be. However, we are caring for the whole student, not just academically and not just their basic needs, but also their supporting them in the ways that we can socially and emotionally. So once students feel safe, they also will feel connected to school culture. This is the second essential. And my school model has relationship at the center, as at the center of culture. So a relationship focused culture, according to Alexander. So this involves training for all school staff and having an understanding that relationships feed the rest of the school culture. And this includes having embedded social emotional learning into the school day with explicit curriculum and resources, and making sure that all staff really are prioritizing student relationships. Once these first two essentials are met, this all starts to connect to how students will self-regulate their behavior, because in addition, staff will be trained in self-regulation strategies for themselves, but also to help teach for regulation for students. And so implementing a reset room, implementing restorative practices, and having an understanding that student behavior is communication, and that undesired behavior is often a result of dysregulation. And so consequences are necessary. That's true. However, they are not going to help change a behavior if the problem is dysregulation. So going back to Ross Greene and his idea that kids do well if they can, staff need to support students in self-regulation, which will help them be able to be more in control of their voices and their bodies and their choices, so that they can have more consistent desired behaviors rather than being in their downstairs brain and being dysregulated. So both classroom staff and behavior staff need to have an understanding of self-regulation and how to implement co-regulation as well. So helping support students in developing those self-regulation skills. Lastly, once those three essentials are met, when students feel safe, connected to their school culture with relationship, and regulated, then they can achieve academic success, not the other way around. So when students are in their upstairs brain, they are ready and regulated enough to learn academics. And so staff need to have high expectations set for students with appropriate tiered interventions and supports to meet standards. And this means that there needs to be enough staff to support student needs, enough support staff, enough interventionists, whether that's academic or behaviorally, because students can only achieve academic success when those first three essentials are met. And if the school is understaffed, it's going to be more difficult to do that. Okay, so this concludes my presentation. Thank you for viewing this video. I also have listed my references that I used to support my ideas, and the researchers that I showed in the presentation are here on my references slide. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation. Have a good day.